Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Wonder Woman has been a hot item in the news for a while now. People are writing blog posts or posting YouTube videos describing or arguing for this or that aspect of her. And many people allude to the fact that she's a misunderstood character, that she hasn't received the attention she should, given her popularity in the culture and so on. But most of these posts and videos fail to offer a real explanation as to why the masses recognize so little about her character, beyond just her name and appearance. I've yet to hear any source that cuts straight to the heart of the matter. That's not to say that other people don't know this information, but I think that due to the nature of Wonder Woman's character, people are often too busy trying to appropriate her for their own causes than to really focus on what she intrinsically stands for. So I'm going to divide this topic into 3 digestible video analyses, to be released in 3 consecutive weeks. This video will explore what it means that Wonder Woman is an Amazon. The next will examine her roots in Marston's Jungian psychoanalytic theory, and the last will briefly follow how these tensions have played out in the character's history, and why our culture still has such a hard time resolving them. Wonder Woman exists in a tension of interpretations because she was based on the archetype that thrived on those tensions from the roots of Western civilization. As a classically trained psychologist, William Moulton Marston didn't randomly choose to make Wonder Woman an Amazon. He understood the mythical and psychological resonance of the archetype the Amazon symbolized. The patriarchal culture of ancient Greece depended on valid familial bloodlines to hand down property, titles, legacies, and their culture in general. They also lacked many of the taboos about sexual encounters that we have today. Prostitution, homosexuality, and adultery for the men all had a valid place in society. The men in power had to keep their wives separate and pure from these practices, though, to ensure their sons were indeed their sons, and that their culture was taught and handed down undefiled. So the culture developed the story of the Amazons. They were a wicked, disordered race of women who left their place at home and hearth to become warriors. Stories abounded on how they murdered their male children and removed one of their breasts for more efficiency at archery. Even though that last one isn't scientifically accurate, women are capable of being fine archers with both breasts intact, it made the Amazons seem especially barbaric to the ancient Greeks, who valued symmetry and balance in their standard of beauty. They also would have recognized the self-removal of a breast as a symbolic rejection of a wife's role in their society, to rear, nurse, and nurture children. So the Amazons were created to act as warnings, to show Greeks the barbarism that would take place if women left their places in society. When men began to portray Amazons in art, however, the barbaric was far from their mind. Rather than show them with one breast, they depicted them in a chiton worn by female athletes at Olympus, which bared one breast. The Amazons were often showed sinuously languishing in their defeat on the battlefield, or at the receiving end of a phallic death blow. In short, they were highly sexualized. This created a tension in the Greek men who were supposed to see the Amazons as disordered and disastrous. For now, women warriors were alluring sex symbols as well. We do not have surviving evidence of women's reactions to the ancient Amazon stories, but it's not hard to imagine both the repulsion at mothers slaying their sons and mutilating their bodies, and the envy of women able to live so free in their own society. Marston knew the Amazons and this tension that existed in the history of their representations. He was interested in promoting his own type of tension, though, so he adapted the Amazons to his purpose. Marston believed that the world should be ruled by women, and that they should do so through what he called love allure. Basically, they would inspire submission by their compassion. They would conquer with beauty and love in all things. This scenario plays out often in Wonder Woman stories. She binds villains with the lasso of truth to make them face the truth of themselves and to comply with her justice. The early comics even explained that she and her Amazonian sisters practiced bondage games on Paradise Island, learning how to escape the bonds of enemies, but also learning to submit to one another in love. As a result, we have Wonder Woman, both a highly trained warrior and an ambassador of peace and love. She is as strong as Hercules, but has the beauty of Aphrodite. Marston didn't shy away from making her culturally feminine, but gave her the brute strength and power to overthrow the schemes of corrupt men as well. By choosing to make her an Amazon, Marston had a ready-made contradiction of sorts to work with. He transformed the dichotomy of sex symbol and barbarian to compassionate conqueror. His Amazons cut themselves off from the world of man to develop peace and prosperity, ruling through love allure. She comes to our world both as an ambassador and as a conqueror. This places her on equal footing with her male counterpart. Superman too was sent to Earth to lead us to betterment, and not through violence, except for when it's necessary for our protection, but by example. Marston created Wonder Woman to be uniquely feminine though, for rather than leading by example, a method dependent on cognitive recognition and conscious decision, she leads by love allure, actively engaging the public with compassion and beauty for an emotional surrender of the cognitive. Realize that I'm speaking of a psychologist in the 1940s, before the advent of third-wave feminism, which has different things to say about the nature of feminine and masculine. I'm also ignoring many decades of character progression, which of course allow eventually for Superman to inspire emotional response and Wonder Woman to inspire the cognitive. We'll reach through the 20th and 21st centuries in the remaining two videos. Next week we'll explore the Freudian and Jungian analysis of the character, and in the following weeks we'll trace the development of these tensions through Wonder Woman's history in our culture. Until then, let me know your impressions of the Amazons in Wonder Woman comics, and in the greater DC universe. Let's tease out the specific changes Marston and the writers who followed him made from Greek mythology to our own modern stories. How important is her Amazonian culture for your appreciation of Wonder Woman? Do you agree with Gloria Steinem that she needs her sisters in paradise as a place of healing and recharging for her continued mission in our world? Or do you think she should develop into her own, away from her roots, as other characters have done? We'll explore these questions in the upcoming videos as well, but let's start the conversation now. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to help it grow, and share on social media and with friends. Until next time, keep enjoying and digging deeper into the superhero stories you love. Thanks for watching.